officially recording now. I was trying to.
Perfect.
I didn't want to have. It's like I don't want. It's like I was waiting a while because it's like I was just waiting to see. I'm gonna go on my phone because I'm still talking to my partner about this because he is.
You're good. Here we go. With the consent of everyone, we will begin the Arcane Arlion. Now, the Arcane Arlion Museum is the talk of every fashionable circle in 1927 London. A newcomer to London, Alexander Arlion, claims to have imported magical items from around the world. The Grand Opening Gala for the Arlion Museum is this evening, and you each are some of its prestigious guests. Laughter, the clatter of champagne glasses, and social poise immerse us into a well-lit entrance hall. The recently fashionable light bulb is prominently featured in chandeliers throughout this hall, and the highest social elite all gossip in velvet and satin circles. Now, the four of you at the gala for your various reasons and purposes have passed a half hour in conversation with the various guests before being individually approached by a well-dressed waiter with a folded note on a silver platter. That note is now being dropped into the resources chat. The note reads very simply in handwriting, "Meet me in the coat chamber, Alex." And now, the four of you are gathered. Each of you know each other at least vaguely, and some more than others. And now, with you all standing and exchanging polite small talk, what does the audience see as the camera pans around this circle of individuals? And I'd like to start with Mr. Frederick Cooper.
Oh, well, hello there, everyone. My name is Frederick Cooper. I'm an aspiring actor slash comedian, and I would like to be the greatest actor of all of Europe one day.
Wonderful. With that short introduction, Professor.
Well, greetings. My name is Professor James Barnum from America. I came here to peruse these. I am a psychologist who is looking forward to studying the people who would come to this exhibit. So, just be yourselves and pretend I'm not here.
With that slight invasive statement, Miss Youngblood.
Greetings and pleasures to meet all of you. My name is Elizabeth Youngblood, but you may call me Lizzie. I come from the Youngblood aristocrat household, where my family is in charge of a well-known metal company. I'm hoping to inherit my family's wealth and business once I become of age. I'm still a little too young, despite being in my 20s.
And with this point to social circumstances that will resolve themselves by the time we get to our time period, Miss Maitland.
My name's Nina Maitland. So I I'm sort of like an it girl. Mumsy is such a worrywart and such a spoiler of fizzy time. Always off to have tea with Margot and Bitsy. Sort of the only daughter and heiress of the Duke of Hastings, but Daddy's first fortune is so boring. All I know is I really am bored most of the time. So very bored. Though, you all look sort of fun.
And with these formal introductions, some of you having met before but not necessarily conversed in a tight group before, stepping into the room at the opposite side of this dimly lit chamber is Mr. Alexander Arlion, who has interacted with each of you in some form or another. Now, Alexander is a middle-aged, decently handsome, tall, short beard, just the right amount of scruff individual. The skin on his face is a little stretched a little too tight, maybe years of being out in oppressive heat and cold weather have stretched the skin to almost a breaking point, it seems. He looks at each of you with perfect poise and charm. However, the eyes dart a little bit too nervously. There must be a massive weight on his shoulders to pull off this huge event with the peak of fashion in London. To which he then begins to address you all. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you all being here, especially at my own invitation. How are you enjoying the party so far?
I'm so
It's
bored in my
fascinating.
life.
It's absolutely lovely.
Wonderful. All right. Well, since you were all so kind to come at my personal invitation, I thought we might sneak a little look-see at the museum itself, before it officially opens tomorrow. Would you be game?
How naughty.
What?
Of course.
I'd love
Sounds like it'd be quite fun.
All
Yes.
right. I believe if you would just follow me, then we will. We must plan this well. We'll sneak through the guard door on the side and go around the gated entranceway. If you will follow me. And he leads you out of the coat chamber with the many different individuals. There are a few engrossed in their conversation, but also a few staring jealously at you as you follow the sought-after and very important and a star of this party individual towards a small side door next to the large gate hallway that leads down the grand staircase to what is the Arcane Arlion Museum proper. He takes a key out of his pocket, unlocks the door, and opens it for you all to enter. You all step through a bit of a grimy guard station where the ticket taker and a protector of these most precious goods would be seated if they were there, but of course this is not quite in operation as of yet. And you all notice as he locks the guard door behind you so that nobody can follow you down. All right, right this way, please. It's a bit of a long staircase. We wanted to impress people, so my apologies, especially if any of you ladies are wearing heels.
No problem at all.
See? You're being so mysterious.
Well, I'm quite excited. If you all will follow me, I will give you a full tour of the museum. And he leads you down this long, echoing marble staircase. Absolutely gorgeous. No one knows where Mr. Arlion came from, really, and it makes sense that he would be quite wealthy considering his pastime as an adventurer. I don't think anybody here fully appreciates the extent of his wealth. As you are walking your way down this self-made man's staircase, just the staircase, to the Arcane Arlion Museum. As you finally, minutes later, get to the bottom of this grand staircase, you see the Arcane Arlion proper. And if you would like, you may pull up the the resources tab, which has the museum in full with labels of the different exhibits, which he will now lead you through to give you a little bit more backstory, and I do recommend you take notes. All right, everyone. Well, yes.
I would have coughed.
Oh, bless you. All right, well, it's only proper that as we step down the staircase and you are standing before the crystal calendar that I found in one of my many expeditions to Germany. Now, this particular piece is quite fascinating. And he gestures to the one on the map. We are going to start with one and go through in numerical order for you all. To which he begins to recite. There are plaques at each of these exhibits that say the exact same words, but Alex is able to recite from memory all of the different pieces. Quite an excellent host. Now, the crystal calendar, found in an abandoned mountain laboratory on the slopes of Germany, strange text is inscribed throughout the metal bands you see. Now, no translation of the text is known at this time, but the foremost mathematicians conjecture that it is some form of ancient calendar system. Quite fascinating. Also, if you have any questions for me as I go through these pieces about my exploits, feel free to ask, but I will just walk you through all of them if there are no questions. Over here to our left, as you all step around and the few footfalls echo throughout this torch-lit chamber, we have the twin knights of the Crusades. Now, these are very interesting. One was found in Jerusalem, and then one, many years later, was found in Antioch. You can imagine my surprise. These are golden statues from the Crusades era. These knights are of unknown name and origin, and through our research, it is determined that these golden statues actually contain remains of the horse and its rider. The two knights look nearly identical. However, nothing is known about the creator of these art pieces. Stepping further to the north. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, pardon me, Mr. Arlion. But I was how do you know these are the same knights? You say that you think they're the same, even though they were found in different places, but how did you determine that they were twins?
We actually made that determination based off of, well, my own research, but also I brought in a few experts in the field of statue detailing, specifically the strokes of the chisel, and it seems that these pieces were melted down and then chiseled, which is rather unusual for golden statues in particular, and it was determined that the artistic interpretation and creation could only be by the same artist.
Very well, I understand. Thank you.
Yes, it's quite a fascinating process. Following me to the north, we have what we call the Flighted Fates exhibit. Now, these three different birds were found in Norway, located on a snowy mountaintop with no other buildings in sight. These three statues face towards each other in the arrangement you see before you as we've recreated it, with one each at the western, northern, and eastern points of a compass. It was claimed by the locals that those who stood within the gaze of all three would gain illumination in times of great need. But the locals also warned of the statue's toll, that a piece of misfortune would befall them in a dangerous moment. If you're brave enough, you are, of course, any visitor is welcome to stand in the center, and they have not come alive as of yet. Believe me, I have tried. Moving now to the east, we have our fifth exhibit, which we call the Study of the Necromancer. Now, this was purchased from an unscrupulous auction within the depths of the Central European underground. The pieces of this study are artifacts from an unknown necromancer. The books on the library, weathered but untearing, are difficult to read. And those who delve into their secrets may never be the same. Or so they say. Also, welcome.
Have no questions.
Aiden, we will pause here. Have you arrived?
Yes, I have. I'm so sorry. I was having tech issues.
Not a problem at all. We will say that as we have walked down the staircase and begun going through the different exhibits, that the one of the waiters that brought you the note to meet Alex was able to locate you, and you were feeling particularly unwell at one of the moment when the original meeting took place, and you have now joined the rest of the group. So, Aiden, who do they meet?
They meet. I am Cadus Obscurum, the good doctor of the web. Good to meet you all. My apologies for the lateness.
Not a problem at all, my friend. Not a problem at all. We're just going through the different exhibits here. You can see, of course, in the I'll be the dungeon master for a second. In the resources tab, we are going through the different exhibits numerically. We have just finished with the study of the Necromancer number 5. and are on our way to the sixth exhibit. Now, this exhibit is quite fascinating. We call it the Wayward Mummy, and it was located, interestingly enough, in America. Now,
There's nothing of
America.
note.
I completely agree. However, this was found and it was discovered in the ruins of a mansion in New York. This perfectly preserved mummy is not of Egyptian origin. It seems to be the only known mummy of American make, featuring distinctly American artwork along its sides. Continuing our circle, we present the Stone Throne of Babylon. Now, this was quite a fascinating piece to attain, passed down from generation to generation in a small Middle Eastern tribe. This throne is said to have belonged to an early leader of the Babylonian Empire. The name of this leader is unfortunately lost to time, but legend claims that if the leader's name is spoken, the speaker takes the mantle of the Babylonian Empire. Quite intriguing. Continuing, we present the eighth exhibit, the Haunted Organ of the Deep. Far beneath the Mediterranean Ocean, a lone shipwreck was discovered by local fishermen. After months of searching and planning, an expedition to the shipwreck was attempted by myself, but the ship was completely empty, except for a gorgeous, perfectly preserved organ. No scientist has been able to determine why the organ has not deteriorated. Quite fascinating, wouldn't you agree?
Quite.
Very.
Do you want to try
Continuing.
to touch it?
Oh, of course. It still plays quite well. You are free to try if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, we need a tune. And
Oh.
Nina goes straight to playing it.
All right. What does Nina play?
Some sort of jazz number.
Okay.
That we can't technically name for copyright infringement. So
Sure.
jazzy enough.
Jazzy enough. I love it. As you play, it's a beautiful piece, but there's a special ambiance. First off, organs in and of themselves have this rich, haunting sound in and of themselves. It is interesting to note, too, that the entirety of this museum has stone walls. The acoustics in here are absolutely wild. So the organ notes all mixed together into this beautiful, jazzy, haunting, reverberating melody. And when Nina is done, Alexander applauds politely and looks both excited and sad at the same time.
Pixie, darling, why are you so... maudlin?
Oh, I'm afraid your playing has struck a note with me. You are very talented. I don't think you've played for me before, Miss Maitland.
Not sober.
That does make a difference. Well, continuing our tour, we have the two jungle guardians from Africa. Now, these are two copper statues. They were found in the African jungle, hundreds of miles from any civilization. No one knows their origin, but they stand in a protective stance, guarding something eternally. What could they be guarding? These pieces were quite interesting as they were stumbled upon by some of the locals, and then I managed to expedite their extraction from that rather vulgar country. Now, as there are more questions. Excellent. I guess
all of this.
Isn't it all quite fascinating?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, it all seems to be from isolated places and sort of stupidly distant from one another.
Isn't it? Yeah. You know, I have often found that the most valuable items, particularly with hints of magic to them, are in hard-to-find places. So perhaps that is why.
You truly love your magic things, don't you, Lexi?
Of course, of course. Now, continuing, he looks a little flustered when you call him Lexi, but he moves on. Now,
The whole time.
now the altar of the Philistines here, quite fascinating. Still bloodstained and perfectly preserved from its time. This altar was the site of many attempts to summon powerful demons into the world in exchange for power. Were any of these attempts successful? Perhaps we will never know. The artwork on top of this statue depicts a long, straight line with blood stains running through it. Perhaps a simple draining mechanism or something more, as well as 4 interesting symbols on the top, which are hard to make out but scratched into the stone. It is unknown to know what they symbolize exactly.
Quite peculiarly insidious, would you say about this thing?
I would absolutely agree. And I will go ahead and post the image of the altar now into the resources.
Oh dear.
Oh
Ghastly.
my!
Oh,
It's quite fascinating. Continue our tour, unless there are more questions, of course.
I am quite concerned that blood looks quite fresh.
Isn't that fascinating? You know, we discussed trying to clean it off and even tried a couple of the dots, but it simply refuses to come off.
It's
Curious
rather
and-
strange.
Yes, it's quite fascinating. What we are actually standing on to look at the altar is the shimmering carpet from Egypt. Now, the royal family this artifact was purchased from insisted that, for those pure of heart, this carpet would animate and fly. Will you be the first in a century to prove your worth? We put that on the plaque. I don't actually. We've tried a lot of different, very worthy people, and so far nothing has happened. But you never know.
You never know. It could happen tonight.
It could. You never know. Now, if we step a little bit more to the north, we have a moon dial. Now, this moon dial was found in Antarctica, uncovered by great storms and winds. An intricately detailed moon dial was discovered by a polar expedition led by Alexander Arlion, which is myself. The difficulty to bring this piece back to London was enormous, but ambition prevailed. What secrets might this moon dial hold? Have any of you seen a moon dial in action, actually?
Never.
I have not.
Dial.
I have heard the rumors about them, but I've never actually seen one up in person.
There aren't very many, as most people tend to need to tell the time in the daytime more than the night, but the moon dial operates very similar to the sundial.
Oh. Does it tell you which phase of the moon it is?
There are a lot of symbols that we have yet to decipher. It does tell the time quite well, but we don't really know what the rest of it depicts.
How can it tell the time quite well? It's down here.
Well, it would if it was up above. It was originally when we found it.
Then you should put it outside. Everyone will be able to see it.
And
So
everybody would be
boring
able to
here.
deface it. You're absolutely right. It's not serving its purpose, but unfortunately, the commoners and etc. etc.
Is it
correct,
heavy?
Of course.
Oh, it's quite heavy. It was quite a deal to bring here.
Lizzie just gently taps on it with her cane, just...
And then it gives this very interesting reverberation.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
Very
Yes.
fascinating.
Quite.
Oh.
Fascinating.
Lizzie, you should keep hitting things with your cane. No, I'm kidding. Of course. I
careful.
simply wanted to see Mr. Arlion.
I don't think it would be wise to hit everything with that cane.
And please be careful with your words. By your very words, dear Professor, I would be. Your head would also be something I would gladly hit.
Lizzie
For
has
the
an
sake of
excellent
science, I would welcome it. If it served a purpose.
Nina links arms with Lizzie. And just goes, "You're my favorite."
Oh, I'm glad.
You can see the professor making notes. Interesting.
Well, there are only a couple more exhibits to show. Over here, if we step around this corner to the west, is the broken coffin of a minor devil. Now, this clay coffin was shattered in the center from the inside, indicating that its occupant came to life and managed to escape. No one knows the origin of this coffin, but the artwork on its cover depicts fiery hellscapes, hinting at a demonic entity once entombed.
Let's say that's rather... what's the word? Unnerving? That's a proper word.
Really?
Very
Who needed
concerning.
it?
Very
It is-
concerning.
It is quite concerning. In fact, if you would like to take a closer look at the top of the, particularly these interesting symbols on this particular part of the coffin as well. Let me just send that.
I feel that Nina would try to sit on it.
Oh, don't do that. And you sit, and you can tell he thinks you're about to crumple it, but it actually holds up quite well.
Come to the touch. But there's so many pictures of fire. I thought it would be hot. And she pops off.
Well, that is a valid critique, and next time I see a demonic entity, I will provide that critique to them.
Next time? So you've seen one before?
Oh, an adventurer never tells. Anyway, our last exhibit, we call this one the Cat of the Catacombs. A little bit of alliteration there. This was actually located not by myself, just extracted by myself. And it was located in France. This Sphinx was discovered behind a stained glass depiction of Lucifer being cast down from hell in an underground chapel within Paris, France. This Sphinx seems to have been pointing directly towards Egypt when it was first discovered. And, of course, despite the thousands of miles separating it from its distant family, we managed to determine through mathematics that it was truly facing more or less exactly towards Egypt, specifically towards the pyramids. Absolutely fascinating, isn't it?
Indeed.
Fascinating.
And you in the catacombs of France?
Yes, there's a plethora of underground catacombs in France. I probably shouldn't say that. That's a bit of a trade secret, but quite interesting discoveries have been made down there.
Oh my.
I do believe I've heard tell of catacombs made from the bones of the people of France. It was rather ghastly, but those exist.
Yes,
How
it's quite
morbid.
fascinating.
Well,
Well, I do believe you've seen the entirety of my museum. Any thoughts, any praise you want to throw an old man's way?
This is quite the collection that you've gathered, my dear. It's definitely quite interesting to hear of the tales of your adventures and seeing what you've gathered from them.
Thank you. I'm quite pleased.
I must say, I would love to hear more about these stories, if you're willing to tell them, of course.
Of course. I have loads of stories that I'd be happy to indulge you with. Miss Maitland, yes?
what are your plans for this? I mean, are you trying to open it up to the public? Are you trying to, dare I ask, get money?
Of course I'm not in it for the money. If I was in it for the money, I'd be selling these, not buying them. But this will be a museum for the elite public, so not for the commoners. The commoners will just consider these as pieces to deface and make fun of out of fear or out of boredom. But the social elite, including the ones upstairs, will be welcomed starting tomorrow. They will be able to peruse, and perhaps students, such as the professor and the doctor here, or hobbyists, such as Lizzie, will be able to derive some special meaning from these pieces. This is a place of learning and of discovery.
Bored now. Can we go back up to the party there? I left my cocaine up there.
Oh, goodness. Yes,
Yummy.
if you'll follow me, right this way.
Goody.
And Mr. Arlion begins to lead you back towards the staircase. Now, all of the torches begin to diminish. And you all hear a rushing sound. You are all standing near the Sphinx where where the last topic of conversation was. And you hear this strange rustling, whistling sound and these numerous whispers all around you. And Mr. Arlion's eyes grow wide. And he turns to look towards the staircase, which he can't yet see because there's the wall in the way. And you all watch as the wind and the whispering grows louder and louder, and Mr. Arlion stands up straighter. You watch his neck dislocate and his arms splay outwards, and he is wrenched back towards the staircase, going against the wall, stretching against the wall, curving around the wall, being dragged along the wall by an invisible force, and rocketing around the corner towards the staircase. What do you do?
Oh my.
What is the
Follow him.
What's happening?
Follow him.
bloody hell
Yes.
is going on?
You all rush around the dimly lit corner, around the altar, towards the entrance of the room, and impossible sights are before you. Alexander is hovering in the air next to the crystal calendar. His limbs are splayed out and outstretched, and his body is impossibly elongated as the neck is dislocating more and more, and you all watch as this black ooze begins to come out of the neck, and the crystal, the white crystal in the center of the crystal calendar, turns to black as this inky blackness oozes out of Mr. Arlion and begins to siphon into the crystal from which the wind sound and the whispering is coming from, and begins to siphon into the crystal, as well as part of it arcs off of the crystal as it enters and changes the color and begins to form a barrier at the staircase that you all entered. What do you all do?
I run straight toward it to try to get out before it closes in.
You run towards the barrier, and you, unfortunately, you are too late as the barrier completes in almost a millisecond from the first drop of this black ichor, and you run into this impossible sheer wall of force and bounce back, and you have a bloody nose.
Oh dear.
Mr. Arlion continues to crack and break, and his limbs are shattered in one tremendous echoing crack in this stone chamber as his body, cracked and broken, falls to the ground, the last of the black liquid leaving his body and entering the crystal. And the whispers slowly subside.
I'm no expert, but I think he's dead.
I am an expert and is dead.
Very much like to leave now. My nose hurts.
Doctor, please take care of Miss Nina's nose for a moment.
Come here, dear.
Oh.
I'd like to check out that crystal. There's something captivating about it.
Professor, are you sure that would be wise to do that?
I was about to say
Not at all.
Oh dear.
But My Barnum followers would not tolerate my cowardice at this moment, so we must study and learn.
So clearly you're going to die.
Lizzie jumping.
I would like to, Cadis touches Nina's nose blood and, like, takes it closer to the crystal to see if that would get a reaction out of it. And, like, touches the crystal with her blood.
Fascinating.
Hey.
As you move towards, with this little drop of blood on your finger from Nina's nose, the blood siphons off of your finger, turns to this black ooze, and drifts lazily into the crystal.
So what?
Okay,
Concerning.
I step back.
Okay, as you were stepping forward, you did notice that these symbols that Mr. Arlion described as not being able to be deciphered by mathematicians were just finishing glowing this dull red before turning back to inanimate.
Nina walks up to the doctor and slaps him really, really hard in the face.
Oh, that's
We
gonna
had
hurt
to
in the
make
morning.
sure he was human.
Gentlemen would ask.
I am no gentleman, ma'am.
And
And
ladies
she
wouldn't
proceeds
run
to
away like
smack.
cowards.
Lizzie
Now,
just
now.
bonks
We must remain calm, everyone.
Lizzie bonks top of
Professor-
Burnham's head with the
Oh.
handle, which has the shape of a peacock's head. Just bonk.
Now,
That-
just to make sure I understand the sequence of events correctly, a man dies horrifically in front of you. Somebody runs into a wall. Somebody takes the blood from the nosebleed from the running into the wall and drifts it into the blood siphoning orb, and then you all slap each other in a circle. Is that correct?
Well,
Seems
please
like it.
slap him.
It's an accurate summation.
All right, continue.
Who said you could volunteer my blood?
I did. I am a doctor after all.
And you did say you were bored, Nina. That should certainly add some excitement to your life.
Very
Boredom,
true.
yes. Sacrificing my life for your curiosity is not my idea
balderdash.
of fun.
Now,
I
now,
promise
now.
you.
Oh,
Everyone,
balderdash.
everyone,
Yes.
please keep it calm.
Yes, that is right. We just experienced something very supernatural here.
Possibly
Indeed, and I'm
not.
getting good notes on all of you about this.
Professor,
They
your
will
notes-
love this.
Oh, Professor, is your nose the only thing you're caring about right now? We're currently stuck down here with a bunch of artifacts that definitely seem to have reacted to this series of unusual events, and we have no way of getting out. We don't know what else is down here or what else could happen, and it's possible that one, if not all of us, could die.
The professor continues writing in his notebook unfazed. Well, yes, Lizzie, that is why we must keep an accurate record. So if we all die, they know exactly what happened.
Ah, yes, but what happens if those records are destroyed with our blood?
Nonsense.
She does have a point. She does have a point.
Yes, it would be
Indeed.
good.
Maybe what fascinated me the most of this was the study of the necromancer. My followers had heard tell of such a book. If you look, none of it has ever weathered. That book might just be the perfect work to contain my notes.
You do realize that if you did try to touch that, currently there's a possibility that could easily backfire. And not only would you have to worry about your notes being destroyed, you might worry about your notes never being finished, or at the very least, barely started.
True,
Or
but it's only
worse.
the crystal that's absorbed us.
For
This book
now,
could be
but
the
wouldn't you
answer.
like to stay alive to, be published and be credited? Isn't that what you all live for?
The ladies
I've
do
yet
have
to
a
be
point.
credited.
I would like
Those
to
are good points.
go up to the exhibit of the study of the necromancer just to see if it says anything about something freaky like this happening. Just so we can
Interestingly
get a-
enough,
yeah.
if you look in the text channels, the study of the necromancer is now open.
Oh, so it is.
Ooh, let's take a look. And we're not dead.
Oh.
Yet. It's open.
So when you guys head over there and look, there's of course several books. I'll go ahead and just provide that these books are, of course, not the summation of the library, but merely a sampling of what you would find in the library. Perhaps the most interesting object of note that is immediately visible is this handwritten poem on the desk at the very bottom of that text, and I will read it out loud. There are blood splatters all over it, and it reads, "Word of throned monarch, service of guardian, note of despair, offering on median. I am the unseen, the protector, the curtain, silently working, carrying veil's burden."
Does anyone else want to go quickly look at the stone throne of Babylon?
Oh, I will.
Because word of the throned monarch and that whole say the name of the original owner, become the Babylonian Empire keeper, whatever.
I think that could work, but the service of guardian, I think that could be the jungle guardians. Maybe
Well,
we
there are
need
two
to...
guardians, aren't there? We've got the ones that were dipped in gold and chiseled, and then we've got the other two on the other side.
That's correct.
So the
I'm
There-
world
so
of throne.
bored.
There is the in the resources. There is now the up close look at the stone throne of Babylon. Interestingly
Interesting.
enough, the jungle statues do not have any interesting features about them.
Oh, it's a bit of a. Oh, it's
Well, my theories are frequently wrong, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt.
I'd much rather
But
have
not
a grain
pepper.
of cocaine.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
definitely keep with a grain of salt, not a grain of thought, because you don't have a thought in that empty head of yours, Professor.
Those look like letters, and the lines connecting them look like they spell something. I've got Sicklib.
A B K S U. Either an I, lowercase l, and then a large L.
Or maybe they're two eyes.
There are two eyes. Professor, may I please quickly see your notes in pen for a moment?
But of course.
Thank you.
But it must remain confidential.
Oh, please, this is just notes that I'm seeing now. This is not leaving. This is not leaving. This, and I'm pretty sure anything happens here, is not leaving what happens in our lips.
Good point. Fair enough.
I believe the saying is, what happens in this museum stays in this museum? Anyway.
Bil Isu?
What was said?
It looks like I have Abil Kisu.
Doctor.
Yes.
As you say that out loud, the runes that are on this back of this stone throne begin to glow.
I see. Let's see.
And
Oh.
the golden light at the top of that statue begins to gently drift over, and the circle at the top rests on top of your head and just stays there.
I'm getting Abklibisukis, if I have this
Um,
correctly.
That Dr. Cadis, you feel immensely powerful and rejuvenated after saying that statement and now wearing an illuminated golden crown.
Okay.
I think they're the king of Babylon now.
Yes, bow down to me, my servants.
A direct descendant.
Interesting.
Okay. I have
Well,
no idea what to do with the power. I would like to go to the door and see if I can get it open.
Oh, you head towards the barrier?
Yes.
Yeah, you walk back over there, and the barrier itself, you feel around it, and if as long as you're gentle, you're not going to injure yourself. It is not attacking back. It is just firmly blocking the doorway. Nothing changes with that. You do, however, very faintly hear a gentle whisper from the crystal. Nothing loud, just it's the whisper of a whisper.
The crystal on the calendar one?
Correct. And of course, you also have the mangled body of Mr. Arlion, which nobody has touched or looked at or anything.
oh yes, we
Oh,
probably
that's
should investigate.
true.
Lizzie,
I had assumed that he got sucked into the calendar.
Just the blood, the entirety of his blood within his body.
Oh my.
Right.
Well,
Well-
Doctor, shall we investigate the body? You know more about it than me, but I'm no slouch.
True, I do believe so. Cadis kneels down, starts undressing him just to see the injuries and all that. If there's
Oh
any
my
sort of
gosh, what are you doing, Cadis?
If there, we have to see what's on his skin. His clothes don't matter. He's just. There is nothing left of a human anymore. So don't.
Oh
No
gosh.
dignity.
As you begin to examine as the skilled hands of a doctor, a couple things are quite obvious. The skin itself, despite having just lost all of the blood, and therefore should be flaky and papery and cold, is warm like the embers of a fire. Over the heart on the chest is a brand, actually. Now, Dr. Cadis, on a scale of 1 to 10, how familiar do you think you are with ancient symbols, particularly around demonic entities?
He is not a very. I don't believe he's very well versed on it. He just started getting into the idea of believing in the supernatural when the exhibit came around.
Okay, then you do not recognize the symbol. The last thing that is noticeable, however, is a letter folded on an inside pocket, which is now in the resources chat.
Lizzie's going to head over to the altar.
To the altar?
Yep.
Okay.
I would like to ask the crowd if they know what this symbol is.
Would anybody in the group be familiar with demonic symbols? There's one person that I think could make an argument to me that they would be.
I do believe that could be me.
You are, yeah, I'll give it to you too. I guess you're one of two. And I'll give you this, Professor. You have seen this symbol in some reading you've done. Nobody knows what it means, but it does relate to some satanic things.
I'm sorry,
And-
for clarification, where is the symbol?
Over Mr. Arlion's heart.
Oh.
And of course, the letter that is now in the resources tab. I guess it
Yeah,
would be
this-
helpful if I read it out loud, although you all can see it, but I'll read it out loud as well. To change my nickname real quick. My dear Mira, words cannot describe how much I miss you. The fact that I simultaneously love you with all my heart, yet have never actually met you, is unbearable. You are the light of my life, even though I've never seen the sun. I am doing everything I can to reach you. Your grandfather is jealous of me and my successes, and even blames me for your mother's death. This is ridiculous. Next to you, there is no one else in this world that I loved more. For years, I have planned and researched, searched and discovered, all for the purpose of returning to my greatest treasure, you. Mira, I love you. I look forward to returning to you every day. I will remain your most loving father, Thomas Darston.
Oh dear.
Oh, my.
So then, is Mira his name, or is that a nickname? I have so many questions.
The question is why, if the connection with Mr. Arlion and these Dustin definitely lead quite a few things to figure out.
I have
And
to
this
wonder
last
if-
name, Darston.
Is there
Why
something
that name?
interesting about that? Do you find something familiar about that last name?
It's simply not Arlion, and it makes me wonder. Darston, could that have any relation to the mummy? Because he says I've never seen the light of day. It makes me wonder who the mummy is.
Shall
It
we
said it
go
was found in
investigate?
America.
I think we should go investigate the mummy.
I will
Okay.
join you.
You all head over towards the mummy. As you are heading there, you all hear from the direction of the study.
I'm gonna head over to the study.
I'm following Lizzie.
All right. You, whichever of you are walking over towards the study, we'll get to you in a second as you are being called by the sound of knocking. Is anybody continuing towards the mummy?
Yes.
We will continue towards the mummy.
I double back because the necromancer calls me.
Okay, so we will continue with the doctor and Mr. Frederick Cooper as you all head over towards the mummy. Not a lot fascinating here beyond what is on the plaque. That all makes sense. You do, however, as you begin to carefully examine, you're both men who understand how to properly investigate something. You do find a folded note. And I will post that in the resources now. And it reads, Lizzie, there's quite a mystery here. Under the crystal are answers. Run if the whispers start. Nowhere is safe. Lizzie, check my pockets. I am sorry. Give her all my love. Hear the walk of the hidden. Take the first and follow, so you can truly see. Oh, and one more thing. For surely, fear it. Alex.
Oh my.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's not jewelry. Did we check Alex's pockets, Alexander's pockets?
Yes,
Yes,
that's when we
and-
found the letter.
Okay.
That
So-
is where the letter was from. Yep.
Beautiful.
As the three of you, while you guys are examining that in the dim lit torchlight, as the three of you head back towards the necromancer's study, there is, of course, still the piece of paper that was written with the blood spatters, which you saw earlier, and is higher up. And there is is in the study of the necromancer tab. And the knocking is coming from the desk.
There is nothing under God that will make me open that drawer.
I think we should knock back. See if it responds.
I'm afraid to do so.
No, but honestly, why? Why do we need it to respond? It's keeping us here against our will, and some sort of glowing thing wants blood.
Tisk, my dear. Correlation does not equal causation. This could be a different thing, trying to help us.
I'm sorry.
How could you be so sure about that?
Because we've been hearing whispers, and for once, it's not whispering. Something else is knocking, trying to get our attention.
But anything about ghosts, or anything about the supernatural at all. Most of the time, when one thing is happening, it's all together.
And yet, I still think we should knock. Because if we knock and don't open it, we don't know that it would open on its own.
Before we open anything, even though I think that is the stupidest idea I've ever heard, and I'm sober, maybe we can reread that other letter, the word of the throned monarch thing. Clearly we have someone with a crown now. And service of the guardian, that's clearly something to do with the letter in Lexi's pocket. Note of despair, I don't know what that means. Maybe it's the piano note or the knocking itself. But offering on a median, what does that mean?
It could be Alexander's blood.
All right.
Unfortunate, but
and
could be.
Note, it does, could it be a note that's played on the organ?
That's what I thought.
That is brilliant.
But I played it, so which note?
All of you try to figure it out. I'm gonna head over to the calendar, if any of you need me.
Don't catch yourself.
I am still going to knock on that thing.
I'm running away from him.
Okay.
Let's.
Okay. So the professor stays, and everybody else moves off to do different things.
I'm going straight to the piano.
Yes, Mr. Cooper.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, do either the doctor or Mr. Cooper tell Lizzie about the note?
Yes, I feel like it's important for us all to.
Yes.
And Lizzie, you are now aware of the note that you now recognize is definitely in who was originally assumed to be Mr. Alexander Arlion, is written in his hand to you. Resolving these in the order of how they would play out time-wise. The professor, the knocking has continued periodically, and you knock back.
Hello?
As you say hello, the letter on the desk rustles.
Everyone, they need to see this.
As you said, everyone, you turn around and no one is there.
Oh no. I slowly back away from the rustling letter.
The letter rustles insistently.
Oh, Jimmy. I mean, it's a letter, right? It can't do anything. I I try to faintly look at what is on the letter.
The letter is appearing before you as you'd expect.
Well, a moving letter. Okay, that's enough for me. I run out of the study.
Moving over, who was going over towards the organ?
Oh, Nina.
All right, Nina. You head over, and the organ stands before you with, as you investigate closer, there is a bit of a poem and a symbol underneath the keys. Give me just one moment to post that in the resources. It is now in the resources.
Play the song that cries despair, for true resolve to rest in care. Is that why he was crying?
It's a likely possibility.
Despair in music. It's usually a minor key. So Nina's going to examine the keys a bit closer.
Yeah, you investigate closer, and the interesting thing about them is it is a wooden organ that should have succumbed to seawater many, 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 many years ago, perfectly intact, not even yellowed.
It was underwater.
It was underwater, and it seems to be perfectly intact.
Nina slowly strokes the organ, not playing, just touching every piece for the texture on her fingers.
Okay, you do that, and it is slightly cold to the touch, but nothing else.
So no indication of a specific note. She examines the actual pipes for the pipe organ as well.
Well made, of some sort of metallic. It's this really interesting mixture of metallic and bone organ pipes, but beyond beautiful craftsmanship, nothing out of the ordinary.
She spins around and goes, "What's the saddest song you know?"
Whoever's there with her can answer. I think I heard Mr. Cooper contribute.
Oh, the saddest song. Saddest song. Oh dear. The saddest song ever can. Oh, quite to ponder about.
That cries despair for true resolve. So a song that's sad and is resolved.
The professor, from fear, ran to the organ out of breath.
Oh, Professor!
It moved, and the answer is your mother. I don't know what that means. I just have always wanted to say that.
You foolish old man!
You insane lunatic!
Thank you.
That wasn't meant to be a compliment.
What are we doing?
We're trying to figure out a
People
song
were
that
different after reading things in there.
Oh gosh, I didn't know that was so serious. My apologies.
Anyway,
A
we're
sad
trying to
song.
figure a sad song, possibly a song about despair that ends up in resolve, possibly.
For true resolve to test and to rest in care. I don't know. I always thought the idea of an opera is sad, but this is also an like underwater organ, so
Right.
maybe something from the Danish Little Mermaid, or something. That's a sad story. Maybe a song inspired by that.
What about maybe a sad a sad sea shanty?
Hmm. No, I can't sing that.
It
We'd
was
get
described
demonetized.
under the sea, wasn't it?
What's that?
Lizzie, did you join us?
Lizzie? No, Lizzie's going.
Lizzie,
No.
no. Who did I hear?
I'm Nina. I'm
Nina. Sorry, I seem to be hallucinating a bit.
Apparently that bonk did more damage than I thought. I apologize.
oh,
No.
you are my favorite. Anyway, no, I was thinking if it was, under the sea and yet not damaged, maybe you're right. It has something to do with a sea shanty or something sad. I'm just worried if we go back to the necromancer study that we'll find sheet music that somehow makes our minds all squiffy.
It was acting strange. I knocked and the paper responded to me.
I did tell you not to do that.
It was shaking, like it wanted me to pick it up.
That's impossible. How could it possibly just respond? A piece of paper respond to you?
Necromancers are very...
That's the weirdest thing that we have witnessed in the last 20 seconds.
In the last 20 seconds? Wow, time moves slower than I thought.
One man was crowned for something, for saying a name. He has a crown now. Another person literally
that was in the last 5 minutes.
die.
In the last 20 seconds, the weirdest thing I said was your mother. And I still can't believe I said it. I had no idea what it meant.
Nina just seethes at him.
I think...
Pinches her nose and goes, oh, right, ow, ow.
I'll control myself, but maybe we should go look for sheet music in the study.
Shall we go
I'll
look
control
for it?
myself.
Please
But
do.
if I'm going to die, I want people to see it. That's what my parents raised me. If you die, make sure they see it. And so I became a psychologist.
With that beautiful inspirational speech, we transition over to Lizzie, who is heading back to the calendar, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And what are you looking for, Lizzie?
I'm looking kind of on the kind of down at the lower part below what I'm guessing is the center of this calendar, considering the noses under the crystals and, well, crystal calendar.
As you move forward to examine, a couple things are immediately obvious. The crystal is now whispering a little louder than it was before.
I back away quickly.
Okay. Before you back away, though, you do see that the very inner, perhaps at the beginning, where the arches of these metallic rims all encircle around this crystal calendar, you are beginning to see dull red runes alight. Almost as if there is a timer on how long it takes you to figure this out.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Just screams out curses and obscenities.
You all hear echoing throughout the museum from the direction of the crystal calendar. Oh, fuck!
Oh, dear.
Oh dear.
I would like to come join her to see what's going on.
Yeah, Dr.
Yes,
Cadis
I
is the
think we
first
all
one.
run.
Yeah, Dr. Cadis is the first one around the corner. And so, Doctor, you are an individual that specializes in observing minute details, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of things that you're going to notice immediately. The runes that you see are beginning to curve and alight slowly around the crystal calendar. The crystal itself is changing from the perfect black pitch to a slight red, and the whispers are incrementally getting louder. And you too understand that there is something going on here that is in the works, that is actively engaged, and if you don't figure out how to stop it, it will come.
Fuck is right.
And then you all round the corner, footsteps echoing around, and you are all, I assume the good doctor puts you aware of the situation. And you all understand that you need
We
to
don't have
find...
much time. Yes.
You need to find a solution to the crystal calendar before our event ends.
Of course there's a timer. There's always a timer. How did I forget this?
Well, it definitely seems that if we don't do this, that we all might share the same fate as our dear host did. So, I think it's safe to say, we need to hurry pronto.
Indeed. But
Yes,
I know the person who will
do it.
volunteer to take it first is Nina.
Very dare you.
Oh no, more
The
knocking.
knocking is back.
Oh no.
I'd like to.
Alright,
follow
I'm not
it.
going toward the knocking or the thing that wants to eat my blood. I'm very, very dedicated to going to the other thing that's covered in blood with the 4 symbols. I'm going there.
I'll
You
go
should
check
be
out
fine.
Nina
I
heads
already
to the
took your blood.
altar.
I'll go check out the knocking then. All right. If any...
I will join you.
I'm going
Alright.
this time. If I'm not
Alright.
alone, I can check it out.
All right, so Nina alone stays at the altar, is that right?
Sadly.
All right, and the remainder of you all make your way towards the study.
Actually,
And now,
actually, Liz
Yes.
gets up like,
You know what? The rest of you do that. I'll make sure that nothing happens to Nina.
okay,
I go to the
The
altar.
second she
you-
sees Lizzie, she grabs onto her and goes, oh, thank goodness.
and you
Oh,
all make your way towards, 3 of you make your way towards the study. Now, the knocking now is more insistent. It has changed from a polite knocking that waits every few moments. It is now. And as you round the corner, the page that was resting on the desk and merely rustled is now floating in air and waving gently back and forth.
I told you! I told you all! Okay, hang on.
I would
What
like
do we
to
do?
grab
My-
it. It seems like
My
it wants attention.
God.
You grab it,
Step
You
1,
grab
the
the paper.
Barney Guard.
and it is now yours. And now, Doctor, as you pick up the letter and hold it,
Yeah.
there is now tapping on the underside of the paper.
I flip it over.
As you flip it over, it is now tapping on the underside of the paper that you have flipped over. It seems to be tapping to parts of the letter it wants you to pay attention to.
Hey.
And it is particularly focused around the last paragraph. I am the unseen, the protector, the curtain, silently working, carrying Vale's burden. It seems to be tracing that.
Am I stupid? Did I not get the resource for that guy?
It is in the study
The
of the
study of the
necromancer tab.
necromancer.
Oh, I am stupid. Cool. Haha, love it.
You're
No,
not
no, no,
stupid
no.
at all, Doctor.
No, no, no.
We're
You're
all
the only
stupid
one
for
who-
going to a haunted museum.
You're the only one with a degree, so
Thanks for
Degrees,
spoiling that
says.
for everyone. Yes, I'm not
you're
a
the one
professor.
that you're the one that put professor in quotation marks. Don't even play this
True.
game.
Oh, you brought that upon yourself.
So where was it tapping?
The second paragraph. I am the unseen, the protector, the curtain, silently working, carrying Vale's burden.
You are the unseen. I can't see you, but I can feel you, and I can hear you tapping. What would you like us to do?
Wait a minute.
It taps vigorously, and then when you say, "What would you like us to do?" it begins to tap on the top part of the message, but it is very specific. The word of throne monarch, it taps in the center of there once. The service of guardian, it taps there once. The note of despair, it taps there once. And the offering on median, it taps there once.
So we need all of those.
And then, as you're waiting, there's nothing. There's no knocking, there's no tapping, there's nothing.
Come back, friend!
And now, moments later, as you're all standing waiting, you hear knocking from a different part of the echoing museum. This seems to be coming from behind you.
I'm creeped out, but I follow it.
You all head towards what becomes the what the exhibit is called, the broken coffin of a minor devil. And you realize that directly behind the study, the invisible something or someone is now knocking on the coffin.
You think this could be the devil? Or the minor devil?
Is this Abilkisu?
Nothing happens.
Apparently.
How big is the hole that's in the broken coffin? Is it like a fist? Is it like a head? Is the whole thing shattered from the inside?
It is split apart from the inside, like if you were to take a loaf of garlic bread and just rip it in half.
Oh, okay. You think something might happen if we go inside it?
Can we look inside it instead first?
I mean, we
I
probably
agree.
should, but...
Look inside first, and then we'll decide.
Okay. Whoever chooses to glance inside, you all taking a moment. Okay, you all take a moment to look and really investigate. You realize that there are runes on the inside of this clay coffin, very similar to the runes on the crystal calendar.
Oh no. Oh dear.
I think I found the culprit.
Switching over to the ladies at the altar. What are you guys looking for?
Right, Nina, what exactly are we looking for here?
We see an arm or a wrist. We see a knife. We see blood. We see a weird castle, I assume, and then some sort of star. But because everything's demonic, do you think it might be like Lucifer Morningstar or something like that?
It's quite I'm actually not sure.
To be honest, I'm a little worried that stupid professor's going to rip my nose off and put my blood on top of this thing.
Let the record show it was not the professor who did that.
I know what I said. I trust literally none of these men.
Fair, neither do I.
That's just a good public service announcement for anyone. Anyway, continue.
I mean, none of them have any snuff. How dare they? They're so boring. Second of all, not one of them has a flask or any cigarettes.
All right,
Nothing.
All right, Nina, calm down. Take a deep breath. I understand. Trust
I
me.
cannot take a deep breath. My nose hurts.
Hold up. Listen. I understand. I understand the issue with them right now, and I understand that we don't exactly trust them, but at the same time, we have things that are a bit more... As I look over the counter for a second, just... pressing matters at hand.
King wants my blood. Probably all our blood, but at least you've got to keep your blood to yourself for a little bit. Anyway, do you think we have to stab someone?
It's a possibility. I'm not. It's been a while since I've touched the demonics.
Wait, you know a lot about demonic things.
Did I let that slip?
Kind of. I won't tell. As I said before, you're my favourite.
Fair enough, but I've learned quite a few things from a few friends of mine. To put it
Ominous.
Don't worry. All humans. I would say normal, but we weren't exactly the most normal type.
Sorry, you said humans?
Yes.
As in, you know things that were not human?
I don't know anything that wasn't human, but I know other humans, young people like me, who definitely went into some darker territories.
Alright, I'm just going to point this out because I'm a little bit worried that you don't understand. We're all human. So saying you know things like all other humans makes me worried you're not a human, Lizzie.
Oh my god. You know what? I'll talk about this later. Let's try and figure this out, shall we?
No. Sorry. True. Seriously, do we have to stab someone?
Don't know if either stab or we might have to draw blood from someone. That's a possibility.
I vote that doctor or the professor.
Possibly right.
They took mine. They took my peace of mind and my blood. Their turn.
Personally, I would put it to the professor, but that's just me. But
I fully agree. But what is the castle thing exactly? Is it like another part of the tomb itself or the whole house? What is it?
I'm not sure yet, and that bothers me. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a castle, if it's a specific sort of home, if it's the museum itself. And it could honestly be anything right now, and we probably need to find more things related to this.
Do you think the star though is like Lucifer or some other piece that's in here?
But if it's something, well, let's see. If it is something within here,
I just kind of like scan the rest of the museum for a moment. Just could possibly be the calendar. Could also mean the moon dial. Possibly something a bit more symbolic with one of the other ones that we have yet to investigate. It could be quite a few things, and well, probably should kind of take a look at the other ones to make sure we're not missing anything, considering we are currently on very limited time.
True, but I think we should check out the cat of the cat of the catacombs, because that was the stained glass depiction of Lucifer and hell, and I feel that maybe that might be the star thing.
Possibly.
I'm literally just gonna run straight there as I'm saying it.
Okay.
Okay.
Lizzie, do you currently have the note that Alex wrote you?
Yes, I do.
You guys heard the gentleman knock. You heard the knocking on the clay coffin, and then the excited conversation around there. The knocking stopped a while ago. However, the note that's currently in your pocket
I take it out.
falls to the ground. It has gotten out of your pocket and it falls to the ground.
Oh dear.
Do I notice it?
Yes, absolutely. You absolutely do.
Hold on.
Because
All right.
as you're moving forward, it falls in front of you instead of behind you.
Oh, you drop this. I go to pick it up and hand it to her.
Okay.
And then I look at it and I'm like,
Hold on.
Lizzie,
I take
this
the
is
note.
Lexi's handwriting. say?
Stay, check my pockets. I am sorry, give her my love. Hear the walk of the hidden, take the first and follow, so you can truly see.
You're mumbling, dear. What does it say?
Under the crystals are answers, which I did go check because of with the runes. Run if the whisper starts, which I did here. Nowhere safe. Check my pockets. I'm sorry. Give her all my love. Hear the walk of the hidden. Take the first and follow, so you could truly see. Oh, and one more thing for surely, fear it. If I had to guess, we have to fear this devil. That's possibly might be our demise if we don't succeed.
Fear it, as in the thing that sucked out his blood, or fear the person who he wrote the other note to?
I'm not sure. Hold on a moment.
Because if they think, and as we're like walking toward the cat.
Yes, you've already made it there. It's a pretty small museum, so.
DM.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
I
Hello,
have
it's me.
the other note, don't I? I would have
You
brought
do.
the other note. I would take that out and quickly look at it.
Mhm.
Wait a second. Go do that. I am going to check something else for a quick moment.
You're leaving me alone?
So,
Sure,
No, do
it's
that.
fine.
Do that. That's a great idea. Do that. It's a great idea.
split the party. Oh,
Sure.
it works.
Sure, just leave me. It's fine.
All right. I'll stay with you with this, but then you come with me and check something else. All right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And she literally clings again.
No, I think
Just
you guys should split up.
frozen.
I think that's a great idea. I think you guys should split. I think it's really smart.
That's terrifying.
Gentlemen, what would you like to do now having made this discovery?
Fantastic question. I think that with our time constraints and what the note was asking us to do, I feel like we should check off the list. We have the word of the throned monarch. I am the king of
Babylon.
or whatever. We should find Guardian, become in service of it. I think we've found the note of despair with the organ, and finding the offering on the median that might be alt.
Because I recall that we were being called by a knock last, and trying. Did we figure out what that was?
That was the minor demon.
I don't think so.
Because we looked and saw the runes. That's right, we saw the runes inside the broken coffin. And we noticed they're the same as the ones on the crystal calendar.
Yeah.
So
I think we've made that connection.
Yes.
maybe we should investigate the knights or the jungle guardians.
I was gonna suggest that service of the guardian. Maybe that's tied with the jungle guardians.
I'm game to investigate.
All right then, let's go investigate the jungle guardians.
Okay, you guys head over towards the jungle guardians. To get there, do you go past the crystal calendar?
Frederick, I'll let you decide.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's see. Oh dear. Decisions. Does anyone have a coin?
The professor makes notes. Needs a coin. Wait, Doctor,
Yes.
Are you with us or somewhere else?
I make the executive decision. Let's check the calendar, see what's changed.
Okay. As you guys walk past the calendar again, the runes have continued to light up around the different bands, and it is now in the phase of red that is almost like the beginning of sunrise. As your game master, let me be super upfront with the stakes here. You guys do not have to win for the story to complete. If you do not discover the aspects of the puzzle, you will lose, but the story will complete itself. So just be aware of that. And you essentially, it's a bit of a choose your own adventure situation where even if you do not solve all of the puzzles, the game will still go on, and I will kill your characters. So just be aware of that.
Oh, heard.
Such is life.
Again?
Is the whispering louder?
The whispering is louder. In fact, I would say now you can start to distinguish every once in a while a word. And the current word that is within the whispers is joy.
Is everyone else hearing this joy?
I'm hearing it too.
It's very pointed.
Joy.
Could
Wait.
I know this is a stretch. Maybe the song we're supposed to play on the organ is like Ode to Joy or something. Maybe something like that.
Yes.
That's a stretch.
Professor, give me a scale of 1 to 10 because we're not rolling. On a scale of 1 to 10, how familiar are you with demonic history?
About an 8.
Okay. Then that is enough to know. So somebody who is actually involved in demonic history, you would have read through different devils and demons of legends that are said to have popped up into the modern world, to have crawled from the holes of hell and the fires of hell into our earth and wreak havoc. As you're beginning to put these pieces together, there are two things, one that is immediate evident, and one that you are now in a flash understanding from the letter. Joy, 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 demons, demonic. There is a particular demon that has been rumored to be very active in the last 300 years. The real name of the devil is, of course, not known, as most demons and devils try to hide their true names.
Mm-hmm.
The title they go by, the Joy Possessor.
Everyone, you need to know this. There's this demon called the Joy Possessor.
Furthermore, with the heightened occurrence of demons and devils seeming to escape, at least in your research and in the claimings of individuals, seeming to escape from the fires of hell, there is a secret society called, give me one moment to make sure I get my name correct here. Just scrolling through my notes, don't mind me. Okay. Called The Veil. And you remember the word veil being used in a letter on a certain desk.
My gosh. Everyone, the word veil. Where have we seen that?
The letter on the study.
Study. I am the unseen protector, the curtain silently lurking, carrying veil's burden.
Why?
Why, what?
Lizzie, you have actually, you have actually met someone claiming to be a member of the Veil.
Just. Oh, for the love of. Oh, very well, I see. That makes a lot more sense now. Oh boy.
Do you know
What?
them?
What do you know, Lizzie?
I don't know too much because I only know of one person who, at the very least, claimed to be part of the Veil. But considering that note and from what I have heard and what I do know, apparently this devil definitely has some ties to it, and carrying Veil's burden, that makes a lot more sense now. Would I be right in that, Professor?
Oh, yes, quite.
Um,
Veil.
and I'll just fill in a little bit. Sorry, Professor.
A good voice.
So Lizzie, specifically, the one individual you met from the Veil claimed that this secret order, and of course you know where you met them, claimed to be part of a secret order known as the Veil, which was a secret order whose job was to find escaped devils and demons from the hells and bring them back to hell. Obviously that is a bit of a stretch, but you've heard some crazy stories, so I will say at this point, with the four of your brains combined, it is easy to make the inference that potentially the necromancer is a member, or was a member, of the Veil.
Jove, of course. Then... What?
What if... Oh, excuse me. What if the knocking could perhaps be the spirit of the necromancer?
Mr. Cooper, when you say that, you feel wind on your face.
Oh. Oh, hello?
Perhaps...
And then as you say, oh, hello, you hear from the corner where the organ is, this very sad, sad song begin to play. And you notice that Nina is no longer in your group.
Nina?
No.
Nina? Nina!
I get it out.
Oh, really? Oh, perfect. Wonderful. Please,
Oh,
elaborate.
dear.
Elaborate for the rest of us.
Note of despair. Most of the time, that's a minor chord. And then we have that other note of, play the song that cries despair, for true resolve to rest in care. We need to make this thing sad, don't we? 'Cause if it's the joy possessor, and we make everything sad, it has nothing to possess.
I think you may be onto something.
Possibly.
Have we investigated the cats or the knights?
Someone check the cat, please. I was checking it before because I have this theory that the Lucifer thing and the star thing somehow connected, but I just really had the idea of playing the piano, and I really am worried we're going to die.
I'm kind of worried about the necromancer, that wind. I wonder.
Could that have something to do with the legendary carpet that might fly?
I guess I guess that since we're all splitting out to check different things. If anyone needs me, I'm checking those flighted fates. I might have a bit of a theory.
Try to.
What was that, Nina?
Nina got cut.
Nina, you cut out. What'd you say?
Oh, can no one hear me?
Now we can.
Now we
Oh,
can.
yeah.
There you
Oh.
are.
Someone stay in eye contact with the other person at all times, please.
I'll try to keep contact with anyone nearby.
So, where is everyone going?
Flighted fates over here.
Lizzie's going to the Flighted Fates. Professor?
I think I shall join Miss Lizzie.
Okay. Doctor?
I'll go to the cat.
Okay. Mr. Cooper?
I think I'm going to go back and investigate the knocking.
Okay, there's currently no knocking, so which,
Oh, no knocking.
the
I'm gonna
knocking
visit
has-
at the carpet. At the carpet. I'm gonna go investigate the carpet.
Okay. And, Miss Maitland?
I'm gonna keep playing this song. If it stops, that means I'm dead.
All right, a bit of a canary in a mine. I like it. Okay. So, the way it works out, the only person who's truly isolated is Mr. Cooper.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh,
Uh,
dear.
Mr.
I'm s-
Cooper,
Yes.
do you have dice handy?
I don't think so.
I s-
Let me, and I mean in real life, let me just pull up a D20 for you online.
Oh, it's never good when a DM asks
Oh
you that.
my gosh. The dice are coming out.
Do you have access? Do you have access to Google right now, Mr. Cooper?
Let's see. Yes, I do.
If you just type in D20 roller, it'll come up with a dice roller right there.
Yes.
Hang on, I gotta look this up
I
too.
got one. Okay.
Um,
All right. Yes, I have a dice.
you are going to roll, and we're still early on into our evening. You want anything above a 5.
Anything above a 5. All right.
Oh
Go ahead
gosh.
and roll. And
So much luck.
Here we go. Oh dear.
Oh no.
I got
What
a
is it?
4.
Oh no.
I got a 4.
Oh,
Hold on.
Inspiration!
I had so much to live for.
Mr. Cooper,
Yes.
Oh.
as you are standing on top of the shimmering carpet,
Oh no.
the whispers begin to increase. As joy, come here. As joy, come here. Come here. And you begin to understand that whatever's inside the crystal isn't a thing of danger. It's a thing of beauty. And you just want to see it.
Oh my gosh.
And you
Wow.
begin to step around the altar towards it. And before you can make your way to it completely, you lose your footing.
Oh.
And are moved rapidly backward as you were now lying on your back, as you landed gently. And in this moment passes of brief possession, and you are back to yourself, fully in terror again of the crystal, and now realizing you are floating on a flying carpet. Now,
Whoa.
Mr. Cooper, you now have access to the flying carpet and can fly around the room. Also, I need you to just keep in mind that you have now entered the vulnerable state.
Oh no.
Just keep that in mind for me.
It got real. Oh gosh.
So, just to make sure I have this right, dear host/DM, he basically
Yes.
he basically failed a wisdom saving throw, but then he fails a dex saving throw that somehow saved him.
It seems to be there is an
Thought it was
item
pure
placed in
heart.
this room that there was an item placed in this room that animated and helped him.
Oh my gosh, this is just like Aladdin. That
Yep,
carpet helped him.
congratulations. Congratulations, you found Aladdin's flying carpet. Next, let's jump over to the good doctor.
Right.
What are you looking at specifically? Just examining closer?
Just examination, anything of note to take back to the group who know far more about the supernatural than I do.
You know what you do hear? You
I
do hear a faint purring.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. I go closer to the cat to find out where the purring is coming from.
Oh, within.
Ah. I pet the nape of the cat.
The purring continues and a little louder.
Do I feel warm? Does it feel any bit alive?
Oh, it definitely does.
Right! Well. This is truly too good to be true. I back away because I feel like someone else would be far better suited to dying via eaten by giant cat, so I simply look at the stained glass depictions and look at the all of the written around it.
All right. Nothing particularly to review. I'll read the description again. Where is it? This sphinx was discovered behind a stained glass depiction of Lucifer being cast down from hell in an underground chapel within Paris, France. The sphinx seems to have been pointing directly towards Egypt when it was first discovered, despite the thousands of miles separating it from its distant family.
Oh, it was found by it. I'm so sorry. I'm using the notes. Right. With that in mind, continuing to pet the cat, I scream, "It's alive!"
And as that happens, we jump back a few moments to Nina, who's continuing to play. Nina.
Mm.
Music has power, right?
Yeah.
In this moment, as you're playing this extremely sad song, terrified, having just watched somebody die, what is going on in Nina's mind? Does the music sadden her as well? Is she too terrified to feel emotions right now? Where's she sitting?
Both, to be honest. Sort of my entire life has been parties and glamour and fucking with my parents' expectations. And now I'm going to die. And I learned nothing. No, not nearly enough. And clearly, I'm not among safe people. I have made some horrible decisions in my life. And I'm never going to get to learn from them and grow to be better than I am now. Because I'm going to die with a broken nose, all alone, and no one's going to know I ever existed.
That's quite a lot of thoughts for somebody that probably doesn't have to think about serious things very often. And would it be fair to say that maybe a tear or two comes out of the old Watergate?
Oh, she may be old school British and very, very blue. But yes, her face is wet. And it's not just from her nose.
As a tear rolls off of your cheek and lands on the organ, you begin to feel the organ playing a new song of its own. As
She flings her hands back.
As it takes on a life of its own and begins to play this haunting melody that is almost in harmony with the song you were playing, as it continues your theme, but makes it its own and plays this beautiful, haunting melody within a melody within a melody, as you, just playing the organ and thinking, you play the song that cries despair. As perhaps the most despairing song is not a song at all, but the sound of someone crying.
She fully starts to weep in this haunting, body-shaking kind of cry. And I think it's the first time in her life she's felt connected to her body when she wasn't high on snuff, drunk, or doing things she wasn't supposed to be doing.
Nina, you may take the elevated status, as you are now the song that cries despair. Switching over to Lizzie and to the professor, rewinding time a bit, what are the two of you doing?
I'm going to stand in between the three statues, taking out the other piece of paper that I had since the beginning and kind of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
W4 and 5, E7 and 2. West, north, east, north. I'm going to take a closer look at the statues themselves.
Okay. Do you stand between all three of them?
Yes, I do.
Lizzie, in this moment where, perhaps more than ever, you fully embody somebody truly in need. You have just watched a friend of yours be brutally murdered in an inexplicable way, and you are trapped next to things that admittedly are fascinating to you, but nevertheless trapped. And you're pondering on the note that Alex gave you and these obvious clues, and what he said was a game for you to play, but really perhaps was something more. Professor, as you're watching her, she relaxes and her hands drop to her side and her eyes closed, and there's now a soft light around her.
Fascinating.
Lizzie, you ponder on the note and you ponder on what it could mean, and you begin to put together, this was a clue, a clever clue that was supposed to lead me to the note that was for me from Alex. And you begin to see flashes of Alex plotting and planning out. He had not anticipated for himself to die tonight. He was trying to communicate to you that something was wrong. Perhaps he was unable to communicate to you in person, and so he had to leave notes instead, cleverly disguised. And these flashes continue as you not only watch Alexander stand in front of the crystal late at night with no one else in this museum as the whispers are whispering to him instructions. You watch him terrified. You watch this go on for days and days and weeks. And there's this image of Alex sitting cross-legged, listening to the whispers, but also holding the letter from who you now realize is his daughter that he's never met. And you watch as Alexander, in a search for power, begins to become overwhelmed by the power he has accidentally unlocked. And you see him desperately searching for a way to undo the terror that he has set in motion. And the acquisition of the necromancer's study and flashes of plans made to provide you and the friends he brought to this moment an opportunity to stop the releasing of the Joy Possessor. And you collapse to the ground, back to yourself, exhausted. Lizzie, you will take a vulnerable state.
Lizzie! Lizzie! Are you okay?
I'm fine. Oh, Alex, what? Oh, Alex, you have so many senses to account for.
I don't know if you know this, but you are glowing. What happened?
I saw it all. Everything that Alex did with us. Oh, if we meet him in the afterlife, he has many things to explain.
Well, let's hope these are some mysteries that will go unsolved for some time. But for now, we need to focus on living.
At which point, all of these three things happen at once. There is the sound of somebody falling and then exclaiming in shock as the carpet backs up into your view as you're standing looking down the hallway. And then you hear the doctor yell about the cat. And then you just hear this uncontrollable sobbing from Miss Maitland, all happening at the same time.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
No.
Come with me, Lizzie. We need to find out what's happening.
You'll have to help me up, Professor.
I will. Put your arm around me. All right. Let's. I know you're not gonna believe this, but I don't know why I had an accent for all of a sudden. We need to go check on that. We need to check on that flying carpet.
Okay, I'm gonna say you all group back up. At near the moon dial.
Well, it's been an eventful few minutes, I'd say, right, everyone?
I agree.
I would
agree.
definitely say so.
Definitely.
Oh dear. Yeah, experiencing the flying carpet.
I saw. And I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it.
Oh dear.
What happened?
I don't know. It's just one moment, inspect it, and next thing you know, I go blank, and then all of a sudden, the carpet just starts flying. It just starts flying.
Okay, and Dr. Cadis, you said, I heard you exclaim, it's alive?
The cat?
What?
The cat is purring presently. Yeah.
Purring?
Yeah. I don't know what to say. I've never seen anything quite like that.
Okay,
before
and
I
Nina,
came
are
here,
you-
I never knew anything would happen like that.
I'd make a joke about this, but I'm not going to.
And Nina, you're crying? Is everything okay? Nina?
Nina? Hello?
I think Nina's broken.
She's crying so
I'm back!
There she is.
She's crying so much. She's crying so much that apparently time and space decides to quiet her.
Yes, Nina, are you okay?
Yes! As expected. The song was sad, and the organ played the most beautiful. Oh,
Oh
played
dear,
the
someone
most
comfort
beautiful
Nina.
thing I've ever heard in my entire. And it just, I can't stop crying.
Oh dear. Hmm. Well, I am a psychologist. Tell me about your childhood. No, we don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that.
Uh,
I may be crying, but I still loathe you.
Good, then that means you're not broken. Frederick,
Just
can you make the carpet fly? I'm curious if what everything might look like from an overhead
is
view.
Still flying.
It's still flying. Well, I suppose I could give it a shot.
Okay, and does it support 2 people, or will it only work for you?
Well, let's see.
'Cause it seems like everyone's having revelations, and I'm just stuck here. But that's fine. I'm good with not being dead, or
you should go pet
not being.
then.
I no, thank you. I'll be fine.
It is quite warm.
Well,
But isn't it a stone cat?
I said what I said.
It's probably what made him
Very
realize
well.
something was wrong.
I meant to say the carpet. I think I remember Alex saying that only those of pure heart shall be able to ride on the carpet.
It's definitely not. Won't let me ride.
Nor myself.
So, all right. Well, I guess I'm the odd man out. So, all right, I'll take a flight on the carpet.
Yes, I'm curious how the moon dial looks from above.
Oh, that would be
Not that that could
interesting.
do anything, but
It is.
might do something.
Maybe a bird's eye view might be able to give us an idea of the moon dial. Give us a better view of. Give us something that we haven't seen on that dial yet. Yes.
Indeed.
So you
Sun?
fly. Oh, go ahead.
Like the sun.
Yes.
You fly up to look at the moon dial from above. I would say probably the good doctor, who has proved time and again how excellent they are at observing minutia. You're the first to notice a heavy rumble, as if a large footfall occurs near the calendar, but a little bit more to the west, as you all hear this of metal grinding and scraping, and 2 large footfalls simultaneously. Boom! Boom!
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Enjoy that
The
sound.
knights.
It's the knights.
That doesn't sound good.
It looks like the cat is the only thing that's awoken.
And Frederick, can you fly over and see if they are moving? But be careful, please.
I will. I'll check. I'll check.
You're gonna fly over and look?
Yes.
All right, Frederick. You fly over and look by yourself,
Oh no.
and as you round the corner, these 2 massive 10-foot tall golden statues on mounts have dismounted their horses and are moving towards you. As you round the corner, the whispers, as you have left the group once again, temporarily paralyze you, and you, being in the vulnerable state currently,
Oh
can
no.
do nothing as a golden sword that has been unsheathed from its golden scabbard swings out and strikes you off of the carpet. The carpet falls inanimate, and you go crashing into the stone ground, and you are now mortally wounded.
Frederick!
Lots
We need
of
to
things.
save him.
Lots of things begin to happen rapidly now as Frederick lands, and you watch as both of the legs immediately break and are sliding towards you where the carpet used to lay. You can hear now the hurried movement of the knights and the Crusader knights that are now moving towards you to do the bidding of something in this room. Many things happen at once. The moon dial glows with moonlight. As you all are standing around, it glows and seems to be almost outstretching towards Frederick. Doctor, you also feel this tugging on your throne as if something is awaiting your command as the king of Babylon. What do you all do?
Cry.
I tried to run to Frederick.
Okay, you make it a Frederick. Doctor.
Right. I am taking Frederick to the throne to see if I can command it to heal him.
To
Doctor,
the throne.
You're...
As you...
Doctor, you're the king. They're knights.
As you drag Mr. Cooper across, because you have to, the way this path is worked out, you happen to be at the moon dial when this happened. As you drag Frederick Cooper across the moonlight, now emitting on the moon dial, the moonlight fully envelops Mr. Cooper like a blanket and begins, you watch as Mr. Cooper begins to elevate in the air.
What?
All right, let's go.
So, all of this is happening very quickly. There are now 2 knights rushing towards you. What do you all do that are still remaining?
Doctor, order the knights to stop. You're a king. They're knights. But maybe you telling them to stop will stop them.
I hold out my hand and summon all of the magic that I feel and just yell, "Stop!"
You yell stop, and your hands outstretched with this torchlight and moonlight glowing. You're standing in front of Frederick Cooper, who's slowly lifting off the ground, and you see this healing moonlight begin to envelop Mr. Cooper, but it's going to take time as you raise out your hand. The knights aren't stopping, and they're not stopping, and they're running towards you, and this one in front pulls out its sword to swing, and time seems to slow as you all in this flurry were not aware of 2 more sets of large footsteps. And as the large sword swings, the guardian stands between the knight and its new monarch and blocks the sword. And the 2 guardians begin to attack the 2 knights and are now engaged in this epic clash around the altar and begin to swing and move all around the museum. Stone is flying everywhere. But you are safe for the moment as the 2 guardians summoned by their monarch protect the group.
Yo.
Yeah!
Oh, glad I didn't. Oh, that's good to know.
Great for you. But
Buying
you
us
could
time,
summon
we need to find out how to stop everything.
Okay, well,
Lizzie.
apparently the knights are the answer.
Lizzie, you are now having that note that you put back in your pocket is floating in front of your face and smacking you in the head.
Fight, what is it? I just kind of grab it, just, fight, what is it?
And now, who has the original letter from the desk?
From the study?
Yes, from the study.
Professor?
I think I was the last one to handle it.
Now the note, as you're standing in this awesome anime pose, hands outstretched, the note floats out of your pocket and begins to smack you in the face.
Okay. All right, we have the word of the throned monarch. The guardians are in our service. The note of despair was played. We need to offer something to the median, onto the altar.
You don't think they think that Frederick is the offering?
As you say, Frederick, you guys turn and look. Frederick is now no longer floating, restored on the moon dial. And the moonlight begins to drift back in. You recognize and accept that perhaps Mr. Arlion was not entirely accurate about why he went to so much trouble to bring back a giant moon dial all the way from the Antarctica.
Of course, yeah. Just.
However,
Of
for
course.
gameplay purposes, I will let you all know. The moon dial is no longer active. It has received its one use.
Well, damn. I mean, if we had known this would work, maybe we could have restored Mr. Arlion, but first. And then he could have given us clues, but no sense dwelling on the past. Slowly by walking, by working. The unseen, the protector, the curtain.
As the sword fight, which is quite impressive, as these two creatures of absolute metal are sparking and absolutely clanging this reverberation in this stone chamber, you guys look to where they are now fighting in the crystal calendar room, and there is now a bright red glow coming from the room.
Oh my gosh.
I believe
You
we're
now
almost
have 50 minutes before you have failed.
How many?
50.
1, 5, 15.
1, 5.
50.
Okay.
50.
5
5,
5,
0.
0.
I was saying, it's like, I think we're 50.
Okay.
It's 50, considering how late we started.
I'm like, ooh.
Yes, this event goes till 3:30, so I am giving you 50 more minutes, 3:25.
Okay, we can do this.
Oh, does anyone want to go look at the 3 birds thing? I mean,
No.
Already
Trust
did.
me. We should not do that again. It drained Lizzie something awful.
I'm surprised.
alright. So what about the cat?
That's alive.
Have we moved the cat?
No, but shouldn't we? I mean, we should move that to the altar.
I think the altar of the Philistines has something special with it too. Those symbols. Trying to look at them
knife,
again.
The other things.
Wrist, knife, some sort of castle, and then a star, which I honestly think is Lucifer Morningstar.
Wait a second.
The star, though, looks semi-similar to the symbols we see with the throne.
Question.
At least to me.
Question. There were
Question,
4
yes.
There were 4 symbols on the altar, right?
Indeed.
Yes.
How many books did we notice in the study?
4
4.
Just to not lead you the wrong way, there are way more than 4. I just put 4 as a means of sampling of what types of book would be there. Good looking out, that is a pattern. That is a pattern,
Okay.
but it is not a intentional pattern.
Oof, okay, never mind.
Okay.
I should know this.
Come on, Lizzie. No, I'm kidding.
I am exhausted. I literally just saw everything that's happened with this thing, and also what
And I carried you. Believe me, it was no picnic. All right, let's keep going.
Oh dear.
Don't worry.
The notes, by the way, especially Lizzie, your note is fluttering in your face right now,
I grabbed
super
her.
annoyingly.
Just,
It's being tapped.
yeah, I'm opening it. It's like, all right.
Show me where. Oh, goodness.
Wait a minute.
Oh, goodness, I need to sit down.
Lizzie, your note, I'm sorry, I'm reading it now. It says check Alex's pockets. We checked it, but you didn't. Maybe if you check the pockets, there will be something else.
Someone please get me to Alex right now.
All right, come with me.
There is currently 4 statues battling for their lives all around the body.
Somebody grab the body now.
Bloody hell.
And I will remind you, Lizzie, you do have the vulnerable state currently.
Lizzie, what happens if you're on the altar? It might be deactivated, but it's worth a try if it could heal you too.
Don't know about that, but it's worth a try. Please help me get there. It's hard to walk on my own.
Okay. I help put Lizzie like to sit on the moon dial.
Okay. Nothing happens as the moon dial has
Been deactivated, yes.
been deactivated and will not be able to be used for the next fortnight.
Oh my gosh. Nina, did they come alive because of your song? Because your song activated something. Maybe if we play it again, it could deactivate the knights.
No, if it was them or all the things, to be honest.
Doctor, maybe the cat is doing something. Maybe...
Let's see if it'll get off the... Alright, let's go over there.
Carefully now, carefully. We can't... I don't want to see anyone else.
You guys sneak towards where the cat was. The cat's no longer there.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Do we
Nina
hear
rushes
little
over to the
hot
altar.
steps?
Okay, you are now at the altar.
So we have 4 pieces, correct? We have me, the crying thing. We have the King of Babylon. Who else do we have? Those pieces. From the note.
The
We have
note.
word of the throned monarch, service of the guardian, note of the despair, that's me, and offering on median. Do you think if Frederick is the offering, and I'm the note, and you're the word of the throned monarch, who's the service of the guardian?
As you say, who's the service of the guardian? Creeping around the corner from where the coffin is, the Sphinx
Oh
burrs
my
its way
gosh.
around.
Oh, shit, of course the cat's the Sphinx. Of course.
Oh dear.
We need to
Right.
get that Sphinx.
Do you know what a
As you
Sphinx
say that,
is?
it walks up towards you, Professor, and begins to rub against your legs.
Oh my gosh, usually animals hate me. What do I do?
Well, how about that?
Sphinxes
for its
are
help.
tricky. They usually tell riddles. Does this one
okay.
talk?
Sphinx, why did the chicken cross the road?
No, you don't tell them riddle. Oh my lord.
It looks at you, and you now see these stone eyes that are blinking stare at you, and you swear this Sphinx rolls its eyes at you.
Oh dear, just like a cat. Well, please, I mean, well, hang on.
Oh,
Cats
dear.
like to be pretentious and
I-
and act like they're better. So, great one, great mysterious creature. If you help us, I swear I will buy you ancient tuna, or whatever you desire. Please.
Finely aged tuna.
I reach
Go ahead.
my hand down like I would for any normal cat, just hoping it will come toward me. Out of respect, I'm very quiet, but I'm still weeping.
It sees that, and it walks over to you and allows itself to be pet for a moment, as cats do. It then steps away and begins to rub itself against thin air, but it's pressing and leaning against something. And you watch as it encircles something that is invisible to you all before you hear knocking on the cat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
You think the necromancer's back?
I think maybe the necromancer is the guardian.
Oh.
Ah, so
Well,
He
then,
is the guardian.
the unseen. That's what it is. Oh gosh.
unseen.
To be
the
perfectly honest,
protector-
we don't know if it's not a woman. We just know a
What-
necromancer.
What is the curtain?
I
I thought it might be.
You feel a strong wind. Whoever just said, we don't know if it's a man or a woman. You feel a strong wind on your face.
Nina, that was me.
You feel a strong wind on your face.
Are you the daughter that he's never seen?
The wind dies away,
Nope, just most likely a woman. All right, that's perfectly fine.
Well, is the Sphinx your pet?
I feel a wind
do
on
you...
your face.
Oh my gosh. Here, kittens.
The cat
Sounds
looks at you
oil?
like you can go take a cold shower in some oil.
Stop insulting the Sphinx.
That's very specific. Okay, oh my.
Cats have very specific glares.
True
They
that.
do.
True that.
If you're carrying the veil's burden, how can we stop this?
The note in front of you, Lizzie, begins to tap.
I look down at the note on which parts.
Uh,
The Walk of the Hidden.
as you are really paying attention, there is a scraping underneath the note along the first letter of each sentence.
Lizzie.
Turn lights off.
So, should we turn all the torches off?
I think
They were getting darker.
let's turn them off completely.
I think so.
Though, to be safe, does anyone have a light in case that doesn't work? The last thing I want is to be left alone in the dark with these knights.
I take out my matches.
Perfect. Just as long as they're there. Okay, everyone, let's find them.
So, you begin to run around as there are many, many torches in this museum. Here's what I'll give you as you're looking at the map of the museum. All of the torches north of the carpet, easy to turn off. However, there is a full-scale battle going on next to the crystal calendar. What is your plan to extinguish the 4 torches next to there?
DM, I have a question.
I have an answer.
If I'm gonna cry, do I have like magical water abilities that can turn them off and drown the lights?
No. Your
Damn.
magical abilities seem to be something different. I will say it's pretty easy with a torch just to extinguish it by pushing it against the stone wall.
No, I just meant because I don't want to run
Yes,
through the
Doctor.
Doctor.
Can you...
Oh,
order the
you mean like water bending? Can you water bend some
Can I
shit?
like just cry and then have like the walls leak tears?
Let me put it this way. I really want you to try.
Oh damn!
Because I think that would be hilarious.
Alright, I have a dice. I'm okay. I'm going to
Hey,
full
I'll tell you
try.
what. I'll tell you what. If you roll a 20 on a dice right now, I will give you magical water abilities that I was
Okay.
not anticipating giving you.
I am getting my phone camera open in Discord so I can take a picture of my dice just to make sure there is no shenanigans. So I do
ahead.
not get in trouble.
Go ahead, roll this 20, and you'll be a waterbender.
Oh my god, 19!
Oh!
Oh.
That was,
So close and yet so far.
which is, yes.
Well, then feel free to cry.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm just trying to open my camera properly. Oh, come on.
Now-
It was like...
There is a battle raging. Essentially, here's what I'm asking for. If you can tell me a strategy of how to turn off these 4 torches in the center without getting hit, depending on what you describe, and who does it, will determine the success of the endeavor.
Okay, I have an idea, but it's as crazy as I am. Doctor.
Yeah.
I predict you seem to have control over those guardians. Since you can control them, if you are able to use them, since they are able to hold the knights at bay, have them just keep them distracted, so that way I could sneak by, and then I can start to turn them off. Better yet, you could order them to start pushing the knights to a different room away from us.
I have an idea in relation to that. I wonder if I could get the my knights, to turn off the lights for us. And
Oh,
I...
that might be better.
Could
I try to have one. I do my best to manifest this. I try to see if one will, like, in tandem with swinging stuff, knock one of the lights, and just in general during the battle, so they don't catch on the other guys.
That is absolutely brilliant, and I will allow that to happen, as you have complete control of these guardians. Therefore, yes.
Can I ask the Sphinx to try to, jump up and push the lamp?
Push the lamp. Which lamp?
The torches.
Push the torches.
Like, so sort of like how cats, push jars, but the torch.
Oh! I will say that the last torch in the safe area, you watch as the Sphinx is helping you put out all the torches. I'll say that. For flavor.
Oh, cats are useful for something. Good.
Because if I'm correct, one of us is still very much exhausted and can't do much. Cries.
Good job, Fido. I'm so proud of you.
And Frederick, how are your legs?
Never better.
Never better.
In fact, you no longer have the vulnerable state.
Yay!
Oh, thank goodness. Frederick, you seem more confident and less
Yes.
likely to die. That's amazing.
It's almost like he was healed by the power of the moon.
If I might put a quick suggestion.
In the name of the moon, we'll heal you.
Yes.
To everyone else. Doctor, if you're able to move the guardians away from, push the knights away just long enough for possibly Cooper to swoop in and grab Alex's body. I could check it while the rest of you quickly check it while the rest of you try to take out all the lanterns, all the lights.
You feel a wind that is tapping the original letter. Now that all the lights are off, Doctor, you feel a wind that is tapping the original letter.
Remind me which one the original letter is, please.
Oh, let me just put it in the resources, because now there are words glowing in purple.
Oh my gosh.
Now that all of the lights have been turned off.
What?
To lock away a devil loose, use the pieces to deduce. I have prepared the things you need, but know your enemies don't bleed.
Oh.
So the knights?
Crab.
They don't bleed.
But neither do
That does
devils.
make sense.
But the... Wait, is the mummy there? The mummy might be alive.
Oh.
Why would you say that?
Oh.
Because I want us to live!
Is that
Wait a
not
minute.
the weirdest thing we've seen today?
Could the Sphinx be our enemy? It's made of rock. It doesn't bleed.
No.
It has done
no,
nothing
it
to try to
helped.
help us, and we have the invisible person on our side.
Also, you clearly insulted it, and it didn't try to kill you.
True.
Well, that's true, but cats are crafty. It might be saving me for dinner for later.
The cat is no longer there.
Oh my gosh, it is gonna kill us.
And now, above the clatter of everything, you hear what is now a pounding, and I won't do it because I'll break my desk, but you now hear a pounding from the direction of the altar.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dear.
Who
Don't like
knows,
that
the
one
mummy and the
bit.
cat might be connected. Use the pieces to deduce. What pieces?
Us?
What pieces? What pieces? What pieces? What pieces?
The pounding stops, and you all wait for a moment because you're now just kind of hiding at a corner. I don't know exactly where you are. I assume you're in a corner looking towards the crystal calendar. So the altar is banging away. It pauses. You wait for a few moments, and now there is a wind on the doctor's face, followed by the Sphinx returning and licking its paw, followed by a wind on Nina's face, followed by, there's a long pause, followed by a hard knocking.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back, Fido. I missed you.
Who
I
else felt
don't.
wind?
Dear.
Who else felt wind?
Yes.
I think I
definitely.
did.
So was
Uh,
it 4 of us? Was it 4
Frederick,
of
you
us?
did not. Frederick,
I
you
did-
did not.
Oh, never
The
mind.
doctor, followed by the Sphinx moving, followed by Nina, followed by knocking on the altar.
That's 4, isn't it? Does that mean we're the pieces?
I have to
Oh
wonder.
my gosh.
On the altar, it had a wrist, a knife, a location that I would like to guess might be Babylon and that Morning Star thing. I wonder
So
if
the
we need
cat
a
is the
blood
Morning
sacrifice.
Star. You're the castle. Am I the wrist or the knife?
We need a blood sacrifice.
I don't think it's an entire blood sacrifice, but I think it's supposed to be you get stabbed in the wrist with a knife at Babylon with the Morning Star or something as such.
So what, the 2 of them need to destroy me?
Not destroy you, but some
What about
blood.
the thing that's knocking? Why don't we kill that?
Okay,
Because
let's
we
check
can't
that
see
thing
it.
that's knocking. Shall we follow
Unless-
the thing that's knocking?
I hold
I want to.
Dr. Cadius's hand, and I look at the cat, the Sphinx, and I just go, lead on.
The cat leads you back towards the altar where the pounding is coming from. As I cannot emphasize enough, there is still a loud king, 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 as this crazy sword fight is happening in the other room.
I appreciate the
Alright.
reminder. I feel like we keep forgetting.
I did not. I really don't want to walk toward anything, but I'm holding your hand because we're going together. I'm not being abandoned again. So I take the blood that was on my nose.
It's also pitch black here right now. Do you relight the torches?
No, I follow the cat.
I feel like we
Okay.
have the note that we needed with the darkness. I feel like we can relight at least one of the torches, if you so kindly would, so we can see where we are putting our
I just
blood.
light my matches.
Okay.
Okay. If you're just doing matches, I am going to need you in all of the fear and terror, the cacophony, the warm red glow now emanating we are now at the brightness of almost a furnace. You all take the vulnerable state.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna die.
Oh, no!
Um,
Vulnerable, hooray.
Can we see the eyes of the cat in the dark?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Hmm.
You all make your way towards the altar where the pounding was coming from. And now, I'm going to say you all, one by one, feel a little blast of wind almost pushing you towards the altar.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
that's chilly.
What?
I would like to.
Like this.
I pull out a small scalpel from my pocket because obviously, and I
Obviously.
make a little I make a little nick in my wrist and just press it atop the altar.
Interesting. Okay. You nick your wrist and place blood on top of this ancient altar that has not seen blood for millennia.
We're dead.
As it trickles down the stone table into the trough and begins to elongate the runes, the hand
I did-
alights.
I do the
Go ahead.
same, but just from the nose, the blood from my nose into my on my fingers.
Interesting. Okay.
Again, I have not been putting any pressure on my nose. It has just been bleeding this whole time.
Okay.
You must be feeling so many dizzying effects. Must be so fun.
Yeah.
I've been squiffier than this. This is fine. This is fine.
We are dead.
As your blood mingles and joins Dr. Cadis's, the runes, one by one, the hand, the knife, the city, and the star, all alight with this dull red. As you complete the offering on the median. And now, you may both take an additional elevated state, the grace of the Philistines.
I squeeze Dr. Cadius's hands and just go, I know you basically took my blood for a science experiment, but I'm glad it was you.
I'm honored to have been the conductor of said experiment.
I'm hearing
I-
wedding bells.
I need everyone to find a d20 dice and roll.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
Alright, let's see which one I'm going to. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
Okay, I'm going to send a picture of mine again.
Okay.
Right.
All right, let me try.
Just roll straight d20, let's go.
Oh dear.
Ha!
I think I'm dead.
Oh dear.
Is
I don't-
anyone an 8 or below?
No.
I am.
Oh no.
I got a 6.
Nina.
A 13 and a 15 from the doctor and Lizzie. A 12 for Mr. Cooper. Nina coming in at a solid 18. And the good professor at a 6. The cacophony of
My
sword
luck has
fighting
never
as
been
you
good.
all have momentarily been lost in this battle, this waging war, it has momentarily faded from your minds as the rock wall above the altar shatters as one of the swords swings collapses the top portion of the wall and rock goes flying and scattering, most of it small enough to just cause a few cuts and bleeds, which immediately siphon off into the crystal with much more speed than before. But for the good professor, a particularly large chunk of stone flies and crushes the left side of your ribcage. You now have the mortally wounded state and are in the process of dying.
If I die, I just want it to be known I will blame Nina. I wanted lights.
Oh dear.
You now hear incessant knocking from the clay coffin.
Oh, goody.
I think
Please.
someone's home. I think we need to go release him.
The coffin. Maybe I finally have a friend.
Does
Then you
anybody
go
do
open it.
anything to try and help the professor?
No.
Looking at him, there's nothing, but I'll.
Oh,
go.
screw.
No, he
Your
Wow.
basically,
entire heart is just scraped, my friend.
he blamed me. Of course I'm not going to do anything.
I'm going to.
I go up.
There's
to
that
him,
English kindness I heard so much
Oh,
about.
it's-
They warned me.
Slap a rock!
I go up to him to see if there's anything that I can do. Is there anything that I can do?
Honestly, no.
Okay, so-
The thing you could do is stop the release of this devil before and get him to a hospital. That's the only thing you could do.
Let's
There.
I
hurry up
believe
this
in you
round.
guys.
All right, let's go to the knocking. Let's meet our new
Oh, if I
friend.
do die, it's pretty cool that I died at the hands of like giant, armored knights.
You
So,
died
I
by
could die
crumb-
happy.
You died by rubble.
I was
But-
like,
But I
You're
still would
releasing
rather
a
not
devil?
die, so please.
But
You head to the clay coffin of the minor devil shattered.
Alright.
Is no one else worried that we're just releasing a devil?
Ever so slightly.
I'm
And I
just
will-
concerned.
possibly a bit.
I will post this again as a reminder that this is what you are looking at the top of the clay coffin.
Can anyone read this?
I could, but I'm doomed. No, I'm kidding. No, I can't read it.
Oh, let's see.
DODM, may I see if I can be able to read that.
I'll give you all this hint, and I just got your message too. I will give you all this hint. This is not a language; it's a puzzle.
Oh.
That
It's a
still
puzzle.
means nothing to me.
Oh no.
Two snakes. A room in a circle of 3 squares.
The knocking particularly is coming from the 4 lines of symbols.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Oh, we're dealing with what? What is that one? Like 5 different symbols.
All lines start the same
And end the same.
with that weird Y or whatever that thing is.
And also that unusual L at the end of it.
I didn't know any better. What if... Now, this is just a complete guess off of my head. What if at the end of these lines, and again, this is just a guess, are Roman numerals?
Oh.
What do you think?
4, 4. Let's say 1, 5, 1, 5. 1, 1, 5. 5, 5, 5.
Lizzie, what are your suspicions?
With that in mind, I'm looking through the I'm looking through the lines and seeing the ones that are obviously Roman numerals. For the first line, we have 1, 5, 1, 5, 5. Second one is 1, 1, 5.
Quick question for the DM.
Hello.
Hello, is this dying man good enough to put well enough to try and sprinkle some of his blood on it to see what happens?
Do they drag you over there? Because you weren't over there and you're dying.
He's also
Lizzie's
crushed by a
driving
rock,
over.
so it's not safe to remove the rock because he would then bleed out and die even faster.
Yeah. Yes. It's a good thing you have a doctor on the team.
Yeah, who left
I
me
would
for
not
dead?
advise.
Technically, he's doing everything he can to save you, but I do understand the
True.
abandonment, and I would be mad too.
I can bring your blood to the coffin.
Do
That would
it!
feel better.
That would.
Okay, I
It's
go
worth a
over, slap
try.
my whole hand all over his blood, and just go back and slap it all over the coffin.
As you try to move back to the coffin now, the pulse of the crystal is so strong that the loose blood that you take off of his body siphons off your hand immediately and shoots into the crystal around the corner.
Oh my gosh!
Professor, I think that's a no.
Yep, I take it like that. You guys keep going, I'm just gonna lie here.
Other
I'll
words
just
thrown.
watch
Go ahead.
Instagram.
It's
I'm
what?
kidding, please keep going.
My favorite 1927 newspaper, Instagram.
True, luckily
Oh,
I
is that the
brought
one
a
with all the
copy
little
down with me.
pictures?
It is, indeed. Anyway,
Anyway.
this is irrelevant. You guys for the mystery,
Anyway.
please.
I'm seeing 5 Roman numerals on the first line, 3 for the second and third, and then 1 for the fourth.
Although I don't know that these round symbols and the X's, that's what's throwing me off. Whatever could they possibly mean?
Oh, what? Apparently, gods and devils overestimate the intelligence of humans once in a while. A bit too much.
Or they don't, and they were hoping we would die tragically laughing at us.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like to.
That is the most unusual
Doctor,
devil
do you-
laugh I've heard.
I would like to try to see if I can summon a hint out of it with my new magic powers. I'll
summon a hint out of it.
Yeah.
The
If
magic
anything
powers
like
aren't
that.
doing a whole lot for you other than controlling the guardians, which is admittedly pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
Lizzie, on you saying, I feel like there's these 5 symbols for, there is a rush of affirming wind around you.
Huh.
Also, 16 minutes.
Oh.
Alright, so. Alright, so. Just. Brain, work with me, dang it.
Right.
Brain. Why?
There's so much happening around us. I have no idea what this is. That I'm just going to cry.
Apparently, I'm so exhausted that the thought I had decided to
Okay.
lay down and die.
As Nina, in a moment of panic, just starts crying, the second symbol down begins to illuminate with this dull red. The second line.
Oh, that's not good. Wait a second. 115.
And as you are crying, the affirming wind blows on your face.
We're supposed to do that same sacrifice thingy again here.
Cry onto it. See if your tears.
I'm already doing that.
If. Hmm. Dear. Oh, this is quite troubling.
Oh, excuse me, too. Let me just double check, because I might have gotten my order wrong. Excuse me. Not the second line. Important. The third line.
Thank you.
And interestingly enough, the Sphinx walks over and places its paws on the coffin, and the second line illuminates.
You're good at
Oh.
things.
I put my hand on it.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
I'll
Bleed onto it.
I'll put
The
my hand
calendar will take my blood.
No, just prick your finger or something.
I do that. And I
You put your blood, and the fourth line illuminates.
ah.
All right, so should one of us should one of us prick another finger and see if another line will illuminate?
It is only the first line that remains unsolved.
Only the first line. Oh dear, Lizzie. What should we do?
The throned monarch. Service of the guardian. Note of despair. Offering of the Median. So is the offering now your blood? Or who's the offering? Is it Freddy?
Let's try with mine.
Let me. If I am the offering, then I shall. Oh dear. Then I shall try to offer some of my blood on the first line. Doctor.
Right,
You
I
have
handed
it-
my scalpel.
Okay.
all right, I
Use.
prick my finger
Okay.
and place my blood on the first line.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Should try.
Oh dear.
You guys are one line away, and 12 minutes left.
Oh,
Oh,
we're so
Put your
close.
freaking hands on this thing.
Is our invisible friend still there? Would you like to help out a bit? See if you can...
He blows wind around you.
Ah. Oh, it's a he! Haha. Kidding. Okay.
Oh, sometimes I mess up pronouns. It is a she, but here we are.
What if it's blood? What if you need to say the name again?
Shall we try saying the name again?
Abilkisu? That one?
And
Yeah.
the first rune lights up.
Oh.
As you all complete, potentially unknowingly stumbling your way towards the answer, the word of the throned monarch, the service of the guardian, the note of despair, and the offering on the median. Many things happen at once now. The bright red crystal that is now emanating shatters in the room behind you, and you see the reflection of something around the walls begin to crawl out of the crystal, about to unleash on the world around you, as the first rune line, therefore completing all 4 rune lines, alights, and the coffin begins to shake and glow with this bright red flame all around you. You all have to step back from the sheer heat of it, and the reflection of this creature that was beginning to become actual physical forms onto this earth is pulled, screeching, crawling along the walls, tearing claw marks into the walls, pulled back towards the coffin. As the demon, the joy possessor, who had found a man who was grieving a daughter that he had never met and the love of his life dying when he couldn't be there. The joy possessor finding a home in his mind and forcing his weak mind to work and partner with it to plot its escape, now receives the full wrath of 5 slightly oblivious individuals, and you all watch as there is a 6th figure now very briefly visible in the room, as outstretched are the hands of a female figure, cloaked and hooded in a dark purple robe, extending some sort of force into the coffin to complete a ritual that you had to start on the prime material plane. As the joy possessor goes scratching and screeching into the coffin, the flames alight in a more powerful, and the necromancer flicks her hands into the air, and the coffin seals with a violent crash, and then is complete. The statues in the room deanimate. Now we move towards the resolution. You see, it's very difficult to explain how 6 individuals went down into a museum that was meant for the social elite. 1 came up dead and 1 came up almost dead. Professor, I need you to roll a d20. On a 1 to 10, you succumb to your wounds. On 11 to 20, you live to scam another day.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I just rolled. I got 20.
A natural 20.
Yeah.
Professor. A few broken ribs. what's that in comparison
Oh.
for a perfect story to tell to the Barnum believers?
Yeah, my followers.
That's right. The legend and the rumors that spread of what happened to Alexander Arlion and his few friends will grow and spread to astronomical proportions. The Arcane Arlion Museum will never open. It will remain closed, and the study of the necromancer will be among 2 artifacts that are never recovered. The crystal calendar, shattered, but still there, ruined replica. As all of you manage to escape, visiting the Arcane Arlion Museum. And that's where we will wrap up this episode game.
Yay!